Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Ellie and this is Planning and Finances. Today is all about the goals. I think it's that time of year where we're all sitting down and thinking what we want for next year. This year certainly isn't what we thought it was. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. And we're just going to move on and try and make some good plans for the future. So I'm trying to keep my plans fairly basic this year. So the goals that I'm going to go through today are my financial goals and also personal goals, but more around organization kind of thing. Not into my health or family or anything like that. So what I'm going to start with is my first goal, which is something I probably consider really important and something I want to put a lot of effort into this year, and that is time management. Things got on top of me this year, especially coming towards the end of the year. I was getting burnt out a little bit. So this is something that I want to watch. I work full time. I have two little girls. I have an Etsy shop. I love my Etsy shop. I absolutely love it. If you don't know, I have an Etsy shop and I sell cash envelopes and binders and I personalize them. And this is something that I love doing. I found my time just getting away from me. I was up to 2 and 3 in the morning making cash envelopes, then going to bed, getting up at 5 o'clock to try to do more stuff. And I was just burning myself out. So I want to set up a time management schedule where I get up at a reasonable hour, I get some work done, or I look after some stuff that I want to do. I block out my work day, and then I have my family time, and then I have dedicated time to work on my business. This is one thing that I really want to work on, and I think it will relieve a lot of stress. So I'm really looking forward to a lot of planning this year. The next thing I'm going to look at is something I've kind of started already this year and got halfway there, and it is doing a big declutter of my home. So I've never really gone full Marie Kondo. So this is what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking of getting the book, reading it from start to finish and working through my home that way. I have done rooms, I have decluttered my bedroom, I've decluttered my sitting room, but I'll show you around at some stage the decluttering that needs to be done in my home. There is things coming up in the new year and a lot of stuff has to go. So this is something that I am hoping to do. And I also believe that decluttering things and clearing out your house, I did a lot this year and it just cleared my mind so much. Makes cleaning so much easier and efficient, and that is what we're striving for this year, just some efficiency. So now let's get down to what you really came for, the financial goals. My financial goals are kind of broken down into 3 stages. So the first stage that I'm going to look at is protecting ourselves. This has really opened our eyes up to everything. While mine and my husband's jobs have been good so far, another year of this and we don't know where we'll be. So I would like us to be protected the best that we can. So a few things that I'm looking into is I am going to save 4,000 into an emergency fund. Now last year we saved 6,000 into an emergency fund. So I think another 4K is a good point that will bring us up to 10K by the end of the year, which I think would be sufficient for us if one of us was to lose our job. So if one of us was to lose our job, we would still have another income. So I think the 10K would be reasonable under those circumstances. I'm also looking at moving some of my emergency fund. I currently hold 6,000 of my emergency fund in a credit union. And at the moment, it's looking like soon we could be starting to pay negative interest on our savings. So this is not something that I want to do. Like before, we were looking out for the best interest rate that we could get. And now we're kind of like going, I just don't want to pay any interest at all. So I have actually thought of putting my money into prize bonds. A lot of people don't recommend prize bonds, and I understand that. The rate of return on them is not very good at all, but that's not what my emergency fund is about. My emergency fund is not about gaining me any money. It's about just being there for me when I need it. So I'm going to put 5,000 of my money, my emergency fund, into prize bonds. I will keep 1,000 in the credit union, and the 4,000 as I'm saving this year will go into the credit union. So if I have an emergency and I need my money quickly, I do have money on hand between that money in the credit union and between my sinking funds that I will be able to get cash quick enough. And then I think it takes up to about 7 days to release money from the prize bonds. So that is my second part of protecting myself. And then the third part of protecting ourselves is setting up income protection policy for myself and my husband. We don't currently have one, so this is something that I'm going to look into. The second area that I'm going to look at now is savings and like investments. So the one thing I'm going to start at is just to look at our pension policies. Both my husband and myself started pension policies with our jobs this year. And I just want to kind of have a look and see what interest rate we're putting in at the moment, and have a look over our annual budget and see if there's any extra money there that we could put some more money into our pension. I'm going to look at the plan that our pension has been invested in, just to see if we'd like to go a little bit more risky or a little less. We still have a lot of years left to invest, so I'm not risk adverse at the moment. I think we have time before we need to lower our levels of risk. So that's on our pension side of things. So now I'm looking at setting up proper investments for our kids. So I currently save money into our kids' accounts. It used to be €50 per child per month, so it was €100 a month per child. I'm looking to increase that now to €100 per child per month, and I'm going to put it into an investment fund with deposits accounts the way they are at the moment. We're not getting any interest on them, and there'll be no compensation for inflation, which means we'll probably lose money on our savings in the long run. So I'm looking at an investment fund for the children, and I will be contacting a financial advisor to set that up for me. And I know a lot of people talk about the children's allowance and putting all the children's allowance into savings for their children. And I will save and provide for my kids. I would love nothing more to give them everything, but I also believe that working for things gives you good character as well. I don't want my children just to be handed everything. Well, I want to be there for them and fully support them. I will always encourage them in absolutely everything they do, but I also want them to work for themselves. And I want them to gain that experience and to learn the value of money. So I won't be handing them absolutely everything. So next, I am going to educate myself. I am going to educate myself around investing, the stock markets, the tax obligations that go along with it. And investing is something now that I am looking to do more in the new year, and I'm going to set myself a little challenge, so stay tuned for that one. And so now it's kind of on to what's left. So after I've covered all those things in my budget, whatever is left over at the end of the month is going to go towards the fun stuff. So the fun stuff being a holiday. I don't know how likely that's going to be, but we really want to go and see my husband's family in Mauritius. So that holiday can be quite expensive. We usually save between 6,000 to 8,000 for that holiday. There's 4 of us on long haul flights, kind of bumps that price up quite a bit. The second goal we're working on is paying down our mortgage, so making extra payments on our mortgage. Another goal is my husband would like a new car. So this Probably won't be this year, but it is starting to save and put money aside for it. And whatever is left then after that will go into building back up our home renovation fund. As much as we did around our home this year, there is still quite a bit more to do. I don't think it's ever finished with a house. If you own a home, I'm sure you feel me. I'm really sure you do. But there are my goals. There are my goals for 2021. There is a few specific things in there, and there's also like that some loose ones, especially when it comes to the fun. Whatever money is left, we'll look at what we are prioritizing at the time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have your goals set up for 2021. I would love to hear them. Drop them in the comments below. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.